future of the UK and Scotland research programme is a series of research grants which are focused on the big issues which will be at stake in the referendum next year. The programme is a response to what must be about as fundamental a social science question as you can get, and that's whether or not to create a new state.
This is the biggest ever constitutional question we will ever be asked.
It's affecting our futures, so I think it's only fair that we get a say in it.
The broad aim of the ESRC's initiative is to make sure that voters are as well informed as they can be. We have a special situation next year when, for the first time in the UK, 16 and 17-year-olds are being enfranchised. And I think it's really important they get a sense of the stakes that are at play here and feel that they have a part in it.
A lot of young people don't take an interest in politics or aren't as aware of the different angles, different sides to an argument. So it's very important that young people take an interest and can see all sides of the debate involved with such a big question as Scottish independence.
If you think about it now, the 16, 17-year-olds in 10 years' time they'll be 27, 28 and they could be the future politicians, and then 10 years' time they could be the First Minister of Scotland.
Everybody's got their different opinions on things, so it's great to see a different side to every debate.
This is a biggie, and I'm glad to see that so many of you turned out and you're keen to find out the issues, because it's important that you vote. But it's also important that we all understand what the arguments are in the run-up to 2014 so that we can make an informed choice. And we're hoping that tonight's debate will go some way to helping you make that informed choice.
I'm quite certain that I'm going to vote no, so it'll be quite interesting to see if they can change my mind by the end of it.
My own beliefs would like to think that we are at the start of a new period in our nationhood, and I think it's very important that young people steer that.
I'm against independence.
I'm against it too.
I'm for. I'm the only one out the whole group, mostly because I think we'll be financially better off. Each person will be £500 more in pocket every year, and I think if a lot more people knew that, a lot more people would vote for independence. Just now there's a lot of things happening in Parliament that we don't want to happen in Scotland that are affecting us in a bad way.
£500 better off, a bit more autonomy, it's good, isn't it?
I think that's just a minority of the things that we could gain from independence against all the things that we'd lose from it.
We have absolutely no guarantees whatsoever that the UK government will ever manage to be competent enough to get jobs for young people. Do we have any faith that in 10 years' time in the UK that life is going to be much better?
I didn't come into politics to defend the Union, to defend the United Kingdom. I came into politics because I care about inequality, I care about poverty. And it's exactly because I don't look at every political problem through the prism of the Constitution that in many ways I find this independence debate a huge distraction from our ability to talk about the real issues.
It was very good, but I thought the way they came across was quite confusing at some points, and I just wasn't quite sure because they were kind of niggling at each other. What points they were trying to make wasn't very clear.
I think you need to decide what you want your economy to be, rather than say what would an independent Scotland's economy look like.
If Scotland voted for independence, it wouldn't any longer be able to charge students from the rest of the UK to come to Scottish universities.
The facts are twisted by the politicians, and I think that because it's twisted by politicians, you've got to look at it yourself. You've got to come to your own conclusion about it.
The politicians will throw out ideas, they will throw out campaigns. That's their job. If you've been allowed to be manipulated by the campaigns, have a think and say, what are the things I care about? And then ask the questions, then start to shape the debate.
I don't think we would be doing this if it wasn't an interesting question in social science. And at one level, I think we want to see this as an opportunity to do absolutely path-breaking research that nowhere else in the world can do. We can look at how individuals, social groups, organisations, other states respond to this quite unique situation. And I think through that we can learn an awful lot about the resilience of social relationships, about the fragility of social relationships.
Yes, there are a million more jobs in the private sector, but they're crap jobs.
Some of us aren't sure and some of us are no and some of us are yes.
So who's yes and who's no?
Well, we're all pretty much yes, but I mean, I'm kind of having a few doubts maybe what the consequences might and might not be if we do become independent, but then again, if we do become independent, would we lose some of the perks that we have now?
It's going to be a decision which resonates for a long time, and these kids are going to be living here for a long time for the most part. So we need to make sure that they are as best equipped as they can be to make use of their vote next year.
Yeah, it's good to build confidence and say what you're feeling and your opinions, and you get your opinion out there and stuff for in the future, for when you're older and it's you who's out in the world fighting the good side.
And what better way to debate than be debating about your future, debate what you're growing up into.